Good morning or good afternoon now, and welcome. My name is Justin. I'm the Dean of Business and Tourism here at Niagara College. So it's a real pleasure to have you here today. And joining me as panelists are our program coordinators, and they're going to be introducing and talking a little bit about their programs specifically in about 10 minutes. Today, what I wanted to share with you guys is to talk a little bit about NC, talk a little bit about our way of doing things here, which is we like to think is being a little bit different than you might find in some other colleges and institutions. So I'll share a little bit about that. I'll talk a little bit about what you can expect as a student here at Niagara College. First off, the number one question is how can we help you achieve your dreams? And that's really what we're oriented towards. That's what we do as a school, as a faculty, and as program coordinators. We're heavily invested in your success, and we want you to come here to NC to be able to get the skills and the abilities that you need to be able to go out and get the career of your choice, get the job of your choice. So that's our number one priority. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that and what makes us a little bit different. And the other thing we're going to talk about is just a brief overview of some of the programs within the school. So we have everything from diplomas, advanced diplomas, bachelor's degrees, as well as graduate certificates. So there's a number of different programs that you can take, and they'll give you an opportunity today to learn a bit more about those programs and what you can anticipate. So just as a brief overview, one of the things that you're going to find here at Niagara College that we talk about quite a bit is being Monday morning ready. And being Monday morning ready means that we really prepare you for the world of work. Our classrooms, and we'll show you pictures of the classrooms in a few minutes, our classrooms are not always traditional classrooms. And you may see when we show you pictures, it may look like a traditional classroom, but it's what goes on inside the classroom that really is where the magic happens and where your learning happens. So Monday morning ready is something that you hear at NC a lot. And what that means is that by the time you graduate, from the time you start your whole educational journey to the time you graduate, you'll have picked up a number of skills and abilities and attitudes that will really help you succeed when you finally reach that magical day of graduation and you start your first day of work. We have a lot of experiential learning opportunities that will give you real hands-on experience. So it's not just about textbooks and books and tests and lectures. What we really try and do and at the college is really make sure that you're getting those hands-on skills that employers are looking for that will really help you succeed, so that when you do go out to work, you feel like you're incredibly well prepared. So one of the things that you'll find here is we have in our classes a lot of experiential opportunities for you, so that you won't be just sitting there listening. You'll actually be having a hands-on experience and actively working and doing things in an applied way. Like I was saying earlier, one of the things that I always say is I've learned a lot from a lot of the bosses that I've had, but they've never talked to me for 3 hours. I've learned by watching how they demonstrate their behavior. I've learned how they share some of their vision. And then I've had an opportunity to practice that as well. And that's really what we try and do here at NC. It's a very innovative approach to teaching and learning. We also shake things up. Every 15 or 20 minutes in the classroom, you might find yourself going from some group work to listening to a little bit of theory, that then giving you an opportunity with your peers to actually practice that and actually demonstrate some of the behaviors that you'll need to show and demonstrate later on when you go to work. So it's very much about innovative teaching, it's about hands-on learning, and it's about applied learning. One thing you should know, the HTS faculty will be responding to your questions in the chat. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. And then our coordinators who are here on the screen, you can see them, they'll be able to share some of their answers with you. The other thing you should know right now is there's actually 2 breakout sessions at the end of this. The first one is sports management. So Mike Santoro is going to be sponsoring, is going to be sharing with you a little bit more about sports management, so you can learn about those exciting programs. And then we also have a breakout room for estheticians. So it's an opportunity for you to learn a little about the esthetician program and actually get a chance to see our spa. So pretty exciting, definitely a chance for you to get in there and take a look. All right, so like I said before, we really focus on being Monday morning ready. And one of the great things about Niagara College, and one of the things that we're incredibly lucky, is that we're right in one of the major tourist centers in Canada. We actually have almost 20 million visitors a year here. So as you can see here from the slideshow on the screen, we're right by Niagara Falls. You get beautiful casinos, beautiful scenery, the Niagara Escarpment. You actually get to see the world famous Niagara Falls. People come from all over the world to experience this. The other thing that you get is we're so strategically placed. You have an opportunity to work with some of the best and most world-class hotels, casinos, restaurants here that are located right here in Niagara Falls. So you get to see some of the best in class when you're here. Our faculty, it's amazing. All of our faculty have incredible depth of experience in their fields. They have come from industry. They've spent many years, sometimes honing their skills in industry. And they're here because they really want to share some of the knowledge that they've gained while they were working in the hotel, tourism, and restaurant sectors, as well as the sports sectors. So it's a great team. The faculty here, I think you'll find, are probably some of the most congenial and friendly faculty anywhere. The other thing that I want to share with you too is part of the culture here at NC is incredibly warm. It's incredibly welcoming. You know, it's one of the few places that I've been. You walk in and everybody gets to know you. You can have a conversation with the college president when you walk in through the parking lot. You can see your professors. And you can see your professors and have conversations with them. Everybody is very, very accessible. Just to highlight here some of the tourist attractions that you can see around the Niagara area. On the upper left, we have Niagara on the Lake, we have Niagara Falls, we have Clifton Hill and some of the world-class tourist destinations down in the center. It's an absolutely amazing and very, very dynamic place to study. The innovative approach to teaching and learning that I talked about a little bit before. So what we mean there is that we learn by doing. We don't learn by reading books necessarily. We really learn a little bit that way, but what we really learn and how we memorize and get those skills is actually by doing them with our hands. And so you'll see around the college, we have a lot of amazing opportunities to learn by doing. Our sensory labs, we actually get to taste food and wine. Our esthetician program, where you actually are able to practice on other individuals. Very, very much hands-on and applied learning. And this really is an edge that Niagara has. And it makes for a really rich, dynamic learning experience that I think you'll really, really enjoy. So we also do a number of other activities here. We do have some of the most amazing field trips that you can imagine. Because of our proximity to Niagara Falls, you're actually able to go down to the falls. You get to visit some of the world-class hotels. You'll get to visit some of the absolutely incredible restaurants and the tourist attractions there, as well as some of the other activities that we have. It's 20 minutes away from the college, so it's very, very accessible. Even if you aren't able to attend right now due to COVID and aren't able to actually participate and go down, one of the great things we've devised is some of the virtual tours that you can do. So this semester, some of our faculty actually took their students on a virtual tour of Niagara Falls by video, so that you're actually able to see and experience Niagara Falls, even if you're not actually in the country. It was an amazing dynamic experience. We also offer lots of other types of events and field trips here at the college. That really gives you an opportunity to actually see what it's like. We have an amazing program called Be World Ready. And the neat thing about Be World Ready is it prepares you for international experience and international activities. And in the past, with HTS, Hospitality, Tourism, and Sport, we've had Be World Ready trips to places like Orlando. We have an amazing program, which maybe Brian will talk about in a second, that actually gives you hands-on experience with Disney. Have some other incredible experiences doing Be World Ready trips to places like Las Vegas, Italy, as well as Costa Rica. So some amazing opportunities to travel, which really enrich the student experience with a bunch of your fellow students and your faculty. So it's an amazing opportunity. It's just an example. It just gives you an idea of some of our activities around the college and around the campus, around the community. Talk about hands-on learning spaces, and I want you to notice here, this just looks like another classroom, doesn't it? But like I said before, where the amazing things happen in this classroom, it's not just about lecturing, it's actually about getting involved with your peers. Learning is a group, whether you're virtual or you're on campus, there's still opportunities to break out and work with your peers and learn from them as well as from the professors. So we really try and make things activity-based so that you're actually up and learning from people, you're talking in groups, you're doing group work, working on projects. It's a much more activity-based type of learning, and it really works. We have a number of labs on campus, and I think I mentioned them before. So we have a sensory lab where we can do wine tasting. We have cooking as well, so culinary labs. We have some amazing opportunities for you to really practice what it's like to hone and become an expert in your field of study right here on campus. The other thing you'll notice is that we have a lot of teamwork here, and it gives you an opportunity to be exposed and work with some of your peers. And there's great learning that goes on here. It also helps you in terms of understanding assignments and working together. So very, very much an interactive experience. Here you can just see a few pictures. On the bottom is our benchmark restaurant. This is the four-star restaurant that we have here on the campus. Sorry, this is the middle two pictures. Just gives you an idea of some of the experiential learning. At that restaurant, we actually serve our own beer, our own wine, and obviously a lot of our own food. So today, we're going to do a brief overview of some of the schools, some of the programs within HTS. So you can see there's a number of different areas where you're able to get involved, and you have a whole host of opportunities to learn with us. We also have some very unique pathways in between the programs, so that if you decide that you want to start in one program and switch, we can make that happen for you. So very, very flexible programming and a lot of opportunities. Okay, so this is an opportunity for you to meet some of the program coordinators. And get a chance to hear about some of the sessions that are some of the activities and what it's like to be a student in each of these programs. So with that, I'm going to opportunity to pass it over, and we'll introduce the Hospitality Hotel Restaurant Operations Diploma Program. Brian Beccario is up first.
Thank you so much, Justin. I truly appreciate this opportunity to speak about our Hospitality Hotel Restaurant Operations Diploma Program. And first and foremost, I want to talk about the program and the curriculum we offer. So the diploma itself is 2 years. And what's unique about this is that we have a September intake and we have a January intake. Both sets of cohorts, meaning both groups of students, receive the exact same program of instruction. We have courses in accommodations, food and beverage, sales, conference services management, housekeeping, maintenance, human resources. It provides the learner a serious understanding, a great platform to truly understand what the hospitality, hotel, restaurant industry is about. So first and foremost, I want to talk about the platform and our programs and our courses and how well-rounded the learner is after. The other thing I want to talk about is our co-op. So if you start our program in September, you are eligible for a 4-month co-op. And we have students do their co-ops locally, whether it's in Niagara Falls, like Justin spoke about, or Niagara-on-the-Lake. Some go to Toronto, some go to the East Coast, some go to the West Coast, some go on the world stage. So that co-op experience is for any student, and they have that opportunity. If the co-op isn't for you, you have the opportunity to go into our January stream, where they do not have the co-op. They start January, they have an intake in January. Then their second semester would be in the spring, and then the third semester would be the following fall, and then the winter. So that program is done in roughly about 18 months. Another thing I'd like to piggyback on is the comment that Justin talked about in terms of applied learning. And we talk about applied learning, we as a program, as a group of faculty, try our best to introduce applied learning into it. So I teach a course called Accommodations Operations Management. And one of the things we have our students use is a simulation, and it's an OPERA simulation. And OPERA is a property management system that illustrates to the students how a hotel runs and operates using this computer system. We have many simulators in our food and beverage courses. We do a lot of role playing throughout the program. So that really speaks to the applied learning, as well as we have access to the benchmark restaurant. So a lot of courses students find themselves in this applied learning environment. Another thing I'd like to talk about that Justin asked me to speak about is our Be World Ready program. So for the last 6 years, unfortunately, we didn't do it this year because of COVID-19. We had a relationship with the Walt Disney World organization. And every year we send roughly 30 to 40 students to Walt Disney World for 5 days. And it's during these 5 days, they have 3 sessions. They have one session on teamwork, one session on leadership, and one session on the Disney culture, as well as a behind the scenes tour. So they get 4 unique Disney experiences. And that's something the students can add to their resume. While they're there, it includes food and beverage, accommodations. It's an amazing program. And I've had the opportunity to do it 3 times. And I must admit, the students that go, it's a memory for them. And like I said, it's something they can add to their resume. The last thing I'd like to address is something very, very important to potential students is the opportunity to bridge into other programs at Niagara College. You do a 2-year diploma at Niagara, that opens you with opportunities. The first opportunity is you could say, you know what? I want to go and I want to work in industry. Well, you are going to be prepared to work in industry. Some of students may say, you know what? I love education. I love this. I want to work and I want to finish my degree. So you're going to meet Professor Dr. Paul Willie and Dr. Heather Clark shortly, and they're going to talk to you about our degree program. You can take our 2 years, do roughly 3 to 4 bridging courses, and then you can bridge into the degree program and do 2 more years. You need to have an average roughly around 75% to do this, but we have many, many students that do this. We also have students that bridge into our postgraduate event management program, as well as we have the opportunity for some students to actually spend 1 more year and they'll do Professor Janet Jacobson's tourism management diploma. So there's lots of opportunities for you as students to continue to grow at Niagara College or move on to your career. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And like I said, Niagara College is a fantastic place, and we'd love to see you in the fall. Thank you.
Brian, thanks so much. That was fantastic. Okay, next I'm going to pass it over. We're going to talk a little bit about the Tourism Management Business Development Program.
Hello, everyone. My name is Janet Jacobson, and I have been teaching at Niagara College now for 12 years. And as Justin had mentioned, along with myself and my esteemed group of colleagues, all of us come from industry. And I think that's a very key point of differentiation that we offer to our students here at Niagara College, that we can draw upon those skill sets, those learning opportunities, as well as our contact base or our network. And quite frankly, that's how a lot of these experiential learning opportunities come to be, because we basically tap into our friends in industry and say, hi, can we come and bring a field trip to the Royal York Hotel? Can we take a field trip to Disney or Canada's Wonderland? So those opportunities are very unique at a college-based program versus a university-based program. Our program, Tourism Management Business Development, is the only program in Ontario that has the business development side to it. So we are giving you that opportunity to think about your product development skills as you enter into the industry. And we don't have to look too far to know that new products, new way of delivering, new opportunities around the globe are going to be very, very important skills to have coming out of the pandemic. And now tourism is probably the industry that has been suffered the most from COVID, and yet it also offers the best opportunity for recovery. And so the opportunities for employment, for skill set development around the world are going to be yours to have. The similarities between our program and the program that was discussed by Professor Beccario are somewhat similar in the first year. So our first semester in particular is identical. So that gives you the opportunity to settle into your life at Niagara College and just see which areas are of interest to you based on the programs that you take or the courses that you take. Then come January, we go off on a little bit different of a tangent, but we also do still have a couple of shared courses. So again, that's giving you that opportunity to experience both sides of the ledger. By the second year, we're very unique in that we are focused on key tourism type programming. And just like Professor Beccario's program, we offer a co-op as well. And this is an opportunity for you to get hands-on learning, but you bring it back into the classroom when you come back to the start of your second year. And I will tell you that I was once upon a time a college student many, many, many years ago. But the opportunity that I had to work at Canadian Pacific Hotels, which is now called Fairmont Hotels, out in Lake Louise, has been a life-changing opportunity for me. And to this day, I still have very good friends who I was roommates with. We at Niagara College have those relationships with industry that will provide you with those unique opportunities to grow as an individual in a variety of tourism and hospitality related roles as you go forward. I'd also like to speak about the Be World Ready programs. I have been very blessed to lead several of them in different parts of the world, and they are game changers for you personally and professionally. So again, we have that opportunity for you. The other element that we have that was spoken briefly by Professor Vicario is what's the next steps after you finish with us. And you'll hear about that briefly in our 2 postgraduate programs that we have embedded in the School of Hospitality, Tourism and Sport. But there are also other postgrad programs available at Niagara College in our business side, or in another division where you might enjoy public relations or human resources. So there are more opportunities for you to grow within Niagara College as well as within our own program. So again, we look forward to the opportunity to welcome you and join our team. It is truly an honor to be able to speak to all of you today. And thank you so much for investing in your career in coming to attend our session today. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Janet. Okay, moving over, I will hand it over to Dr. Paul Willey.
Thank you, Justin. Great to be with all of you this afternoon. Welcome. I just want to echo some of the comments that were made by Professor Jacobson as well as Professor Vicario. The faculty that we have here at Niagara College are absolutely excellent. All of us have a tremendous amount of industry experience. We all have a lot of industry contacts that we were more than willing to share with our students at any point in time in order to help get you started on your career within the industry. So our Bachelor of Business Administration degree in hospitality management is an honors degree. And I'm proud to say that it is the longest running degree at Niagara College. It's been running since 2003. And we have been producing excellent graduates that are Monday morning ready since 2007. It's also one of the longest running college degree programs in the province of Ontario. Dr. Heather Clark and myself, Dr. Paul Willey, are the co-coordinators for the program. And after this presentation, we'd be more than happy to answer any of the questions that you may have or thoughts or concerns about the degree program. So one of the questions that you might have this morning is, why should I bother to pursue a degree in hospitality management? Well, there's a number of different reasons. It could be out of intellectual curiosity. You're not really sure about the industry and what the industry has to offer or what you could offer the industry. It might be the pursuit of personal satisfaction. It might be peer approval or recognition. Let me share with you my own personal experience because my undergraduate degree was in hotel management about 100 years ago at the University of Guelph. And what I've learned over time, and the research proves this as well, is that if you do a degree, your career progression is going to take place a lot faster, a lot sooner in terms of your scope of responsibility, as well as your breadth of authority, but also the compensation package that you receive. And in our degree, you're going to learn an awful lot about business strategy. You're going to learn an awful lot about entrepreneurship, which is part of the DNA here at Niagara College. And you're also going to become pretty much an expert with respect to research methods. You'll be spending a lot of time working with Dr. Heather Clark. We also have a lot of our graduates that go on to pursue a master's degree, typically an MBA, and our graduates have done extremely well. We have graduates that are located all around the world. And like I said, they've done extremely well. We have graduates that are working at the director level for very significant hotel companies We also have graduates that are working at the operational level in both hotels as well as food service operations as general managers. As Professor Jacobson said, our industry connections are excellent. And without hesitation, if there is a need for a student to be introduced to someone within our industry, we would be more than happy to provide you with that introduction. We have, under normal circumstances, it's not happening this year, of course, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but normally we have career fairs taking place on our campus, and we have a lot of members of our industry from all the different sectors have their representatives come out to meet with our students. They want our students, they're looking for our students, they want to hire our students, because our students, once again, are Monday morning ready, which means that they have the skill sets and the competencies, not only to meet the expectations of the employer, but also to exceed the expectations of the employer. The graduates from our degree program have no difficulty whatsoever getting a job. We have about a 99% success rate of our graduates getting jobs, and they are highly successful within the industry, and they are in high demand within the industry. Something else that sets the degree here at Niagara College apart from other degree programs that are being offered within the province and across the country is the extracurricular activities that we participate in, that we encourage our students to participate in. Not only the Be World Ready program that has already been spoken to, but we're doing things here at Niagara College that other schools are simply not doing. For example, we are the only school in all of Canada that has a student chapter of HFTP, which is Hospitality, Financial, and Technology Professionals. All the best hotel schools around the world have a student chapter. If you look at Cornell, you look at Duke, you look at University of Houston, Michigan, so on and so forth. The best hotel schools in Switzerland, they all have student chapters of HFTP. We're the only school in all of Canada that offers that to our students. Here's another example, the CHIA program that is put on by Smith Travel Research, as well as the Educational Institute of the American Hotel and Lodging Association. The CHIA program is certified in hotel industry analytics. We're the only school in Canada that offers that program to our students. Same thing with the CATA, which is at the advanced level, certified in advanced hospitality and tourism analytics. Once again, we're the only school in Canada that is offering that program to our students. So our students, our grads, have competitive advantage when they step out and go into the job market in comparison to students that are coming out of other programs. Here's another example of why our program is different and what I consider to be better in comparison to other programs that are offered at other schools, is we allow our students to compete. We allow our students, or we encourage our students to compete in a variety of different competitions that are offered by different industry associations or organizations around the world or throughout the world. So for example, this past summer, we had a student team that participated in the Hospitality Hackathon that took place in August of this past summer, where you were required to come up with a solution set to help mitigate some of the damage that has been taking place within our industry as a result of the pandemic. And then we just competed once again in the Smith Travel Research Market Study competition. We competed against 36 universities in total. Once again, we were the only college competing, and I'm pleased to say that we placed in the top 20. We received honorable mentions, so we didn't do as well as we did last year. Last year, we came in 4th place. So we were the little school that could. We beat out a lot of very good hotel schools all around the world. And I think that speaks to the quality of instruction that our students are receiving from the excellent faculty that we have here at Niagara College. Be World Ready, so a lot of the locations were identified. A few more that are opportunities for our students to participate in includes Ireland, as well as Peru, as well as Ecuador, Germany, Spain. We've also had a couple of students that have gone over to Spain. So lots of opportunities with respect to Be World Ready. We want our students to have international experience. We want our students to have international exposure, because once again, that's going to provide you with a competitive advantage. And once you have that competitive advantage, Not only are you going to be more desirable by a prospective employer, but it's also going to provide justification or credibility as to why you should receive a higher compensation package once you go out into industry. We also have graduate pathways. We have a lot of articulation agreements in place with a variety of different schools here in Canada as well as internationally. So the doors are open. That opportunity is presented to you that after you successfully complete our honors degree program, if you want to go on and pursue a MBA, we encourage you to do that. Dr. Clark and myself are always working with students with respect to getting them prepped, getting them ready, helping them with their GMAT, helping them with letters of reference, because we want, more than anything else, we want our students to be successful, and we want that success to continue if they are pursuing a graduate degree. So I encourage you, if you don't have any questions today, I encourage you to take a look at the information that's provided on our website. There's a nice little video clip up on our website as well. It only takes about 2 to 3 minutes to go through that video. There's a lot of rich information there that I think will assist you, help you with respect to your decision-making process. So thank you for sharing part of your afternoon with us.
Thank you.
This afternoon. And I'll pass it back to you, Justin.
Great, Paul. Thanks so much. That was fantastic.
Thank
Just
you.
a couple of notes on the slide here. I just wanted to I just thought I'd point out, this is Wayne Gretzky Winery, which is really close to my house and to Brian's house. And it's one of the college grads who actually runs this winery. So just an example of some of the applied learning. You can see down there on the bottom left. Oh, actually that looks, yes, it is. That looks like the skating rink down at the Gretzky Winery. So if you're not from Canada, if you're international, when you come to Canada, you'll learn Wayne Gretzky is definitely a household Canadian name. He's one of we're very, very proud of number 99, one of our star hockey players. So just a little Canadiana for you. Okay, I'm going to move it on, and we can talk a little bit, Vince, about the Hospitality and Tourism Management Grad Cert program.
Thank you, Justin. My name is Vince Bork, and I'm coordinator of the Hospitality and Tourism Postgraduate Certificate. And I'm also a proud graduate of Niagara College from many, many years ago. The Hospitality and Tourism Postgrad Certificate was basically designed as an 8-month, 2-semester program that really focuses on the core hospitality and tourism courses. We covered those core courses anywhere from hotel accommodations, operations, to restaurant operations, to niche tourism and sustainable tourism. And we really dive into those, the business courses such as accounting, revenue management, marketing, and so on. So it was really, the program, the postgraduate certificate was designed for students that already have some sort of diploma or degree and want to continue on and really focus on the hospitality and tourism industry, or for students that have extensive experience in the hospitality industry, but don't necessarily have that undergraduate certification and want that additional certification so that they can grow and develop within the hospitality industry. So I'm not going to speak too much more about the program. We cover the tourism side as well as the hospitality side. But if you have any specific questions, please feel free to ask questions in the question and answer portion. And I'll also post my email in the chat box, vbork@niagaracollege.ca, in case any of you have any specific questions that you want to ask me directly. All right, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Great, Vince. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. All right, moving on. We will now talk a little bit about our Event Management Grad Cert program.
Thank you, Justin. My name is Christine Blaine. Vince, there's a young lady in our chat that is actually considering taking your program. So if you want to chat with her, she has a couple of questions.
Absolutely, I saw
for
it.
you. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so I am a faculty member in the school, HTS school, and also the program coordinator with event management. I've been with the college 21 years. I'm one of the more senior ones here. I know, hard to believe, but anyway, this is an 8-month post-grad certificate. You need to have either a diploma or a degree or some relevant experience to get into the post-grad. If that is something, perhaps you haven't taken a diploma course yet and you're thinking of joining our HTS school or business or anything else, you can certainly come see us when you're finished. There's a nice pathway to our post-grads waiting for you. So if you're not familiar with the event industry, we are actually in every other industry out there, from health, pharmaceutical, you name it, we're in there. You're doing events in so many. I think we're $1.1 billion industry. And we comprise of everything from meetings, trade shows, weddings, fundraisers, sporting events. We're everywhere. Project management skills that we teach within the program are in demand, and they're transferable skills. There's a pretty good growth area post-COVID that's going to be happening in the event world. We're going to get you ready for that world. So this program combines business skills with traditional event skills. We're typically 3 to 4 days a week, which allows for people to continue working in industry, volunteering, doing placements, certainly for anyone that's thinking of a second career. We're a combination of classroom and offsite learning. So we work a great deal in the community. We plan events, we work with industry, the media, public relations, and lots of others. Some of our main highlights: we of course produce live events. So talk about hands-on experience. We're putting you right in there. There's a lot of networking with industry. You have the potential to volunteer and do placements up to about 150 hours throughout the 8 months. And we have a couple of entrepreneurship opportunities that we're putting into the program over the next few years. Not to mention, we're going to get you that additional virtual hybrid training that's going to be required, so you can produce events like this and just be able to be ready from a traditional standpoint and a hybrid. We have about an 86% job employment rate. We've won about 4 gold and silver awards on an international stage over the last number of years. And we get to raise money for a not-for-profit in the community via our 20-plus year Many Hands project. So we have a saying in our program that not only are you Monday morning ready, but we get you Friday night prepared. In our classroom, what you learn one day, you're pretty much putting into the real world and into an application by the end of that week, if not the end of that day. Our students are pretty much employed everywhere: hotels, wineries, convention centers, sporting, wedding consultants, not-for-profit, again, you name it, and we're probably there somewhere. As Brian mentioned it earlier, we as HTS have a lot of moving parts within each other. So very often you'll be taking one program and maybe planning your next steps, and we're all here to help you with that transition. So again, anyone looking at this now or in the next few years, please reach out. Happy to help guide you that way. And thank you everyone for your attention. Thanks, Justin.
Christine, thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Yep, no problem.
All right, so now we have an opportunity to answer some of your questions. I know there was a number of questions in the chat, but maybe we can expand on those and take some time to answer them live. 3 things though I just want to share while anybody's putting any questions into the chat, just to think about when we're thinking about NC, when we're thinking about tourism, hospitality, and sport here at NC. The real difference, number 1, you're a person here, you're not a number. You will get to know your faculty, you'll get to know your associate deans, your coordinators, and they are all very, very invested in your success. I know we're all learning virtually now, and that's becoming normal, but it's still new for everybody. Many of the professors will have virtual drop-in hours where you can simply have a coffee with them, or virtual coffee, and chat and get to know them and answer questions or ask questions. So even though we're remote, there's still lots of opportunity to get that face time with your professors and really be mentored and learn from them, which is just so valuable for your careers in hospitality, tourism, and sport. It's an amazing opportunity. Even though we're in a virtual environment, I just want to address that we all recognize this is not necessarily the experience that we would choose, but it is the experience that we're all going to share. And our professors, our faculty, our coordinators have worked extremely hard to make those classes as experiential as possible. So even from, for example, working in certain areas, you can still do a wine tasting virtually and share and make it a shared experience online. So there's lots of ways that we can make this experience as hands-on as possible, even if you're not in the same country. And that is maybe some of the benefits of this virtual world which we find ourselves in, is that even if you're in India, or you're in Chile, or you're in France, we can all share an experience mutually online at the same time. So it's actually very beneficial in some ways. So the third thing that I just want, and I hope you guys have got that from some of the professors and coordinators here today, you know, some of those international experiences, those Be World Ready experiences, we do offer some funding opportunities for students to help them, because we recognize that that's quite often a barrier. These are absolutely rich learning, being able to work with your peers, getting able to experience you know, some of these activities with your professors, and spend a lot of time face to face. It's a very, very rich learning environment. So definitely, I think definitely a big differentiator with Niagara College and HTS. So now I'm just going to go and open up the Q&A, and I'm just going to take a quick look in there to see if there's any questions that have occurred while we were doing our presentations. So first, just looking at Jess's question. Yeah, I think I've addressed that in my talk. Definitely a challenge, but I think you're seeing an amazing amount of innovation happen here in NC around dealing with COVID and the virtual experience. So we can anticipate probably this will continue on, the pandemic, I think, for the next little while. And we'll continue to pivot. And I know our faculty are extremely dedicated to making sure that your experience virtually is as enriching as possible. Yeah, and Mike Santoro, if you're looking at the coordinator, he's doing a breakout session, so you can actually ask some questions. Thanks very much, Susan and Howard, for your answers. And Julian, Colombia, buenos dias. Okay, and it looks like your question was answered. Brian is very open to chatting with you after the presentation today. And like I said before, our faculty and coordinators are incredibly invested in your success and very easy to get a hold of. So thanks, Brian. Thanks for that. Jess, okay, great. And it looks like you're interested in the hospitality and tourism grad program. And yeah, Vince will supply you with his email. So he's very accessible, and I'm sure you guys will get a chance to get connected. Judy Rana, so interested in the event grad cert. And okay, are cars mandatory for this program? Okay, so I'm going to let, yeah, Christine, do you want to answer that?
I'm just typing a note to Judy. I'm going to give her my personal information and giving her some information that we have ways around cars.
Thanks, Christine. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm just looking. I don't see any more chats in the chat room. So this is an opportunity. If you have any other questions, please put them in there. I'm happy to address them, or your coordinators are. Let's take a look. Nope. Okay. So any last closing comments from any of our panelists, from any of the coordinators? You guys are good?
I would just suggest that maybe the students, if you wanted to use the chat feature, we've heard from, it looks like 3 or 4 of you in terms of the program that you are currently interested in. Anybody else want to contribute in the chat box as to which program that they are thinking about talking to us about? Thank you.
And I'm going to jump in on that, JJ. Julian, if you have a specific question, please feel free to type it in. I'm more than happy to answer it for you. And yeah.
Okay, guys. Nobody has any other questions. We're all here to answer any questions you might have. Do you want to take just a second and just type in any programs that you might have interest in? Not getting a lot of response. Vince, I like your background, by the way. That's fantastic.
It's moving.
It
is.
is.
It's moving. I really think he's in Hawaii.
I am. No, I only wish this winter is getting near. So I wish I was in the warm weather.
But to the students, like when we were talking about this online environment, I think that that's something that it's a two-way communication. We as faculty obviously have a great deal of responsibility to engage you, but you also have that responsibility to engage with your faculty. So it's important that you learn some of these skills because these are very much business skills that will be very applicable as you move forward and become Monday morning ready. Developing your online presence, developing confidence to communicate in an online environment is going to become more and more the norm. To Paul's point about some of the research, so many of these major organizations are getting rid of their bricks and mortar walls and they are going into the remote world completely. Big companies like Shopify and Google, and my daughter works for the Royal Bank of Canada, one of the biggest banks in Canada. A significant percentage of their employees are being told to stay home and work from home. Hospitality industry, while not all of that can be applied in an online environment, there are many roles that can. So it gives you a tremendous opportunity to develop these skills going forward. So to the young lady's concern about the face-to-face versus online, absolutely. There are challenges with both, but there are also opportunities with both. So thank you.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Janet. I agree. I mean, you're bang on. This is a trend that's happening pretty much everywhere. The shift from bricks and mortar to virtual, and I think even post-COVID, we'll probably see a lot of these sort of activities and these business activities will be remote. They won't be in person anymore. So huge cost savings, but also amazing flexibility for employers and from employees. I was listening to somebody talk the other day and saying, you know, the great thing about this, you know, and trying to find a silver lining inside COVID, is that when I source employees, I'm not geographically hindered. I can go outside of this region and I can pick people from basically all over the world. And that is very, very empowering. And I know a lot of my colleagues now, you're seeing people working remotely right now. I have a friend right now who's down in Sicily working for the year. You know, took her family down there and is able to work remotely. Other people I know are currently in Czechoslovakia working remotely. Sorry, the Czech Republic. So amazing opportunities as well as some of the challenges. So you're right. I mean, the skills that you will gain through going through the programming, being able to understand what it's like, for example, to interview remotely. Very different skill set when we're interviewing and we're having that face-to-face like this, as opposed to actually being able to go out and touch somebody's hand and meet them in person. It is a very different skill set, and there's definitely some nuances. Same with sales and marketing and a whole host of other areas. So very much an opportunity as much as a challenge, Janet. Thanks for that.
Well, and I think something that all of us said today is that we pride ourselves on providing very current market-ready curriculum. You're not going to get the same old boring textbook year after year or the same old boring PowerPoints. It's very fluid and very dynamic, and everything is about what's going on in the world today. And to Professor Blaine's point about adding the digital event component, there is a new certification available called Digital Event Strategist. That term was not used 3 years ago. It is now something that is happening. People are going after that certification. So these are a whole new form of business, a whole new revenue stream for organizations. And to Dr. Williams' point, we can encompass people from all over the world to our meetings now, not just, you know, with geographic boundaries. So look on the positive side of this if it is all possible, because we're very excited about the learning that we are all undertaking and doing it in tandem with our students.
So
Yeah.
I just wanted to say something to Jess. Jess is in Ecuador. Glad to have you on the line here today, Jess. So Jess, I had 3 students from ULIS at Sambarandan that were going to come to Niagara College this fall. And unfortunately, because of COVID-19, that got scuttled. So if you're serious about coming to Niagara College and you want to get hooked up with some of your Ecuador colleagues, I'd be more than happy to provide you with an introduction to them. So let me know my email address. I'm going to put on the chat here for you. Love to hear from you. Thank you, Jess.
That's cool. I missed that part there. I love Ecuador. I was down in Guayaquil a couple of years ago and spent a week down there. We have some fantastic relations with the Ecuador Canadian Chamber of Commerce, which you guys are probably aware of, and had a actually fantastic tour of Guayaquil. I didn't get to Quito, but what a beautiful country. And
Jessica, you worked with Jessica then.
that's right. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah, she took me on a nice long walking tour of Guayaquil one day. I think I must have walked like 20 kilometers. I was absolutely exhausted by the end of it. And I think I probably lost about 20 pounds because it was so humid too. But a beautiful, beautiful country. All right. Now we're it's about 5-1. And I think maybe I'm looking at wrapping it up unless anybody has any more questions. I'm not seeing anything come in. Okay, Jess, that's great. Oh, you're from Quito. Okay, really, really high. I think Quito is one of the highest capitals in the world, if I remember correctly. I know it's
it is.
Yeah.
Quito, CC.
Paul, have you been?
I was there not this summer, but last summer. I was supposed to go back this summer to teach at US once again, and then of course it didn't happen because of the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've participated in about 3 different workshops with US during the pandemic because everything's got pushed online.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, for sure. And we do a large Canada Day celebration in Ecuador, do we not? I think it's
We
in
do,
Quito.
and we normally send personnel from the Canadian Food and Wine Institute down there to prepare a meal and offer some beautiful Niagara College beverages.
That's right. And I know Sean, Craig, and our president have been down there before as well. So amazing relations between Ecuador and Canada.
Yeah, there was 4 of us that went down October of 2019. So it was Christine, Loja, Bradley Tuckwell, and myself. And Jessica was the coordinator of that. And I think we spoke at 3 different venues in total. And we had a wonderful adventure in Guayaquil and Salinas. And it was just excellent. We got the VIP treatment. The red carpet was put out everywhere. We spoke at a university in Salinas, and they wanted to take Christine hostage. They wanted to stay and teach event management. They didn't want to let her go. They were worshiping her.
Sorry to interrupt you. There's actually 2 questions from Julian, so I'm going to jump in and address those if that's okay.
Please.
First one, Julian wants to know, I just want to know about the agreement with hotels or resorts for co-op. So Julian, what happens is that when you come to Niagara College, you as a student have the opportunity to sit on a variety of workshops by our co-op office. And during those workshops, you learn about resume writing, you learn about interviewing techniques, those types of things. And that throughout your time, over your first and second semester, there's opportunities where industry comes on campus and they meet and they talk about their different hotels, their resorts, their restaurants, their co-op opportunities, and you have the ability to apply. Professor Willie also spoke about our career fair. So we do this opportunity as well for you to do the co-op. So Niagara College acts as a sort of a conduit to provide you the opportunity to apply to different organizations. We don't specifically have a specific agreement with any hotel or restaurant, but they are definitely on site to promote that. The second question Julian wants to know about is our Disney experience and if it's open to international students, and it most definitely is. So we usually promote the Disney experience in our first semester so that we can assist our international students in getting visas into the US. We've had students from Russia, students from Vietnam, students from China, all over the world apply for the program, get those visas, and have that experience at Disney. So I hope I've answered your questions. If I have anyone need more clarification, don't hesitate to write something in the chat or send me a specific email. Thanks.
And I guess I'll just add about the exposure to career opportunities. Again, speaking to the virtual environment, we are currently running virtual recruiting fairs where the students are engaged actively in participation with presentations from a number of our employers looking for students. And it's been interesting that the exposure and the participation by the students has actually increased with the online environment because it's so readily accessible. So to Dr. Justin's point that sometimes it's easier to do things virtually than it is physically. So, you know, if you had been working or you couldn't take the bus or you had a class or something, you might have missed some of those sessions. Now the students are actively engaged in them. And again, working on their online presence, their professional demeanor while engaging in interviews and listening to presentations such as this.
Thanks, Janet. Just a little note from, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, from Thenel in the Philippines, interested in the grad cert in hospitality and tourism management. And documents have already been submitted, so that's great. Hopefully we will be able to meet you soon. That's fantastic. Notice it's about 1 o'clock. So I just want to remind you, please, if you have any questions, reach out to any one of our fantastic coordinators here. They're very accessible. Second thing is there are 2 breakout sessions after this where you can ask some specific questions around the program. So please make sure, scroll through, looking for the breakout sessions around the HTS programming, and you'll get an opportunity to meet with the coordinators and ask some questions again. So again, I just want to thank you for coming in, for being part of the presentation today, for setting this time aside to join us. We really can't wait to see you. Very much hope for a face-to-face meeting, but in the short term, we'll look forward to a virtual meeting in the new semester. So again, thanks from everybody here at HTS and NC, and we look forward to seeing you very, very soon.